y'all. So this is going to be a story time about the day that my mom forgot who I was. So my mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's at a young age. And when I'm saying young age, you know how we think like old is like 70, 80. She was diagnosed in her 50s. Yeah, in her 50s, her late 50s. So, I started noticing something was wrong. She really had a great relationship with my son. And when she wasn't too fond of my son anymore, I knew something was going on. And so at this time, I was interning for my medical assistant diploma. And I was talking to the doctor. I was doing general practice. Yeah, I'm trying not to cry. I was doing general practice. So I was talking to the head physician and telling him like her symptoms. And she was telling me like it was menopause. So I've never been through menopause. So I'm taking her word for it, right? But according to him, he was like, no, you really need to go check on your mom because that doesn't sound like menopause. So I was like, oh, okay. So I made time to go and check on my mom. And at the time, my kid was down there as well too, right? So went down there, and the first thing that I noticed was we went to Walmart. Was that the first thing? No, the first thing was the milk. She went to go get milk, came around the corner like maybe 5 to 7 minutes later, and was like, I need to go get milk. And I was like, Mom, you just got milk. She was like, oh, okay. And then she came in and she was frantic because she said she couldn't find her keys, and her keys was on her pinky right there. The next thing was I noticed like the mail. She was extremely adamant about paying her bills and making sure her bills was on time. It was a lot of late notices and things that was extremely behind, which wasn't like her. The next thing was we were in Walmart and she was paying for her stuff and she was just staring at the money and not knowing like how to compute to give the lady the right amount. We went to go pay her insurance. She went in, and when she went in, she was in there for a long time. Like I noticed like people were coming out who went in after her. They were coming out before her. So I went in and she was just sitting there, and the lady was like, I told her the amount, but like she's just sitting here and she's giving me too much money. So I paid, and I was like, Mom, come on. Once I paid and got everything settled, we got in the car and she would just cry, right? So I was like, okay, we gotta figure something out. So, of course, me being in the medical field, I was like, all right, you have to go to your primary care physician to get stuff started so we can get to the right specialist to figure out what's going on and we can get brain scans and stuff, right? So we went to her PCP, which is her primary care physician. Her primary care physician didn't know anything that was going on. She set up to send her to a neurologist. Went to the neurologist, and the neurologist was like, oh, she's fine. And at this time, I'm still traveling back and forth. I'm not living with her. I'm traveling back and forth, right? So, the neurologist is saying, that she's fine, in which people in the town, because like our town is kind of small, so everybody kind of know everybody, and people were saying like, something's wrong, y'all need to come check on your mama. So go back, and I was like, all right, I got to give up my life to figure out what's going on with my mama, right? So I went and looked into the phone book and I found a doctor that specialized in dementia and Alzheimer's. So I called and asked them, was there like an age limit? Because like some doctors, they'll automatically like brush you off, right? So she said, no, like you can come in. I made an appointment, got there, and he was like, your mom's kind of young. And I was like, I know. And I was like, but something's really off. And we need to figure this out because she either has to go to work or we have to produce some papers to say like something is going on. So he did a test right there. He gave her like 3 words and then he waited a while and she was supposed to remember. She didn't. Then he asked her some questions and they were really far off the answers that she gave. He set us up with this psychologist where they give like this test, and to watch her not be able to do the simple things that we did in kindergarten was really heartbreaking. And she would cry a lot because she couldn't get it and she couldn't explain it, right? So okay, that's the very beginning. So lo and behold, like I stayed with her for a while, and then it got to a point where it was other circumstances where it was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. Then she went with my sister for a while, and then she went into a long-term care facility. So this one particular Christmas, because I'm speeding up the story because I don't want y'all to get bored. So this one particular Christmas was like 2014, I think. It's either 2014 or 2015. I really think it was 2014. But 2014, I went up to, visit my sister for the holidays. And so she was trying to explain to me, like, her memory is not good at all. Of course, when you're diagnosed with Alzheimer's, of course, like it's like Benjamin Button. Seriously, it's like Benjamin Button, but the shell of the body doesn't go into being a baby, but everything else does. Like it's literally like a reversal of everything. So my sister was trying to prepare me because she was saying, mom calls me her mom, like she thinks I'm her mom. And I was like, okay. And so, like, at this time, I'm working at a neurologist's office. I'd already graduated, and I see this every day. So, there's nowhere to prepare for it, but it's a different feel when it's in your house or when it's somebody that's close to you, right? So, my sister went to get her from the long-term care facility and brought her to the house where we were gonna, celebrate Christmas or whatever. And so when she walked in, she looked at me and she's like, "Oh, you're so pretty." And I was like, "Thank you, you're beautiful too." And so she's like, she said, "Thank you." And so my sister was like, "There's Angel, there's your baby." And she said, "I don't have any babies." So to hear it is a whole different feel, right? And to know, like, all those years of you existing is gone. And so my sister was saying, yeah, like, that's your baby. That's your baby. And so she was like, "No, I don't have any babies." And it hurt so bad, but on the other hand, like, I know it's the disease. And with her having this disease, y'all, like, I take pictures all the time. I try to record everything because we always feel like we have time. We always feel like, even now, like, hey, when we lay down, we set our alarm. We already have our stuff planned out for tomorrow, and we feel like nothing is going to interrupt that, what we have planned for the next day. Alzheimer's is a very terrible disease. And when I see people on the internet and they sit down and they're trying to talk to their mom and say, you know who I am, I know how that feels. And I cry every time because my mom has no idea who I am. She has no idea I exist. And people would say, at least she's still here. Like, my mom passed away, and it is no slight to the people whose mother has passed away. But imagine your mom still being here and not knowing you exist. There are many times when I wanted to call my mom to ask about a recipe, to just talk about a certain situation, or ask about how to care for my son, and I couldn't. I'm not looking for sympathy. All I want y'all to, this story was to pretty much remind people, don't take time for granted. Don't take people for granted. Don't think you always have time. Or even if it comes down to when people want to record or they want to take pictures, do that, because you never know what the next minute may hold. Bye, y'all.